for coming. We're very grateful for that. We want to thank everyone very much for coming. We're deeply touched. We have, when you get married at our age, you know people from many different aspects of your life, and it's really heartening to see people, from college, grad school, from when we were kids, from family that we haven't seen for a long time, and it's particularly gratifying that you're all here, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. I want to thank Jan's family for helping us throw this party, and I want to thank Jan's family for creating that magical environment, whatever it was that created this girl. My parents are not here with us in body to participate, but I want to thank my Uncle Joe for representing them. As I said before, he was my mother's cousin and my father's best friend, and he was responsible for them meeting when they met in Europe, but they got together here after the war, and I really want to thank Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, you want to stand up? Thank you so much. No one would have loved to know Jan more than my dad. As you may have seen, my brother and I get a little sensitive at these occasions, and we used to make fun of my dad for crying. I think when we were younger, we wouldn't cry at these events, but I guess we've taken on some of his characteristics. My dad was a draftsman, a survivor of the Holocaust. He was not one who took worldly possessions as very important things. When my dad, after my mom passed away, and my dad married Evelyn, they split up the apartment possessions, and my brother had the prized possession because he got the potato masher. That was like the most important possession we had. And to this day, I'm still a bit jealous that he's got it. When my dad came here from Europe after the war, the only job he was trained as an engineer, and since he didn't know the language too well, he came here, and the first job he got when he first landed, I think in Boston, and was taken in by a Jewish organization who set him up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And his first job in the States was as a tailor, because his father had owned a tailor shop in Poland. So that was, even though he was trained as an engineer and a draftsman, he as I said, given that he didn't know the language, he took a job as a draftsman. When he came east and married my mom insisted that even though, and my UFC economist friends will like this story because it talks a little bit of human capital theory, but my mom my mom insisted that my dad not work as a tailor, even though at the time he could get $70 a week wages as a tailor and only $50 a week as a draftsman, because she figured that he'd be building up his human capital, and ultimately in the long run, being a draftsman would be better off. So she insisted that he give up his job as a tailor and go work as a draftsman engineer. My dad always carried in his pocket a pocket protector, and in it he had some pens. And he had one pen in his pocket protector when I was 5, and he had the same pen in his pocket protector when I went to college in Providence, and that was his Parker Jogger pen. And the pen always symbolized to me everything about my father, because he was a very smart man, and the pen was I always associated the pen with education, and it was always something that no one could take away from him. You know, being a survivor of the Holocaust, you know, you could take away his freedom, you could take away his goods, but you could never take away his ideas and his pen. When he was working, he was in a work camp in Hertzburg, and he was carrying some wood ties, some railroad ties, and one day a railroad tie slipped on his foot, and I think he broke his foot. His foot was all swollen, and he went to the infirmary there, and in a work camp under Nazi Germany, an injury like my father had would have meant certain death. But the pen saved him. A doctor in the infirmary asked if anybody could be a scribe who could keep records, who could keep German records in German of all the patients coming and going. And my father had picked up German, just being educated. He went for a couple of years in the Polytechnic in Germany, but he also learned some German just from the Gestapo. So he volunteered to be the scribe in German, and that saved him and saved his father. Saved his father in a camp called Hertzburg. So to me, I wanted to give all of you a gift from my father that most represented him. And so I'd like to give all of you a gift of my father's Parker Jogger medium point pen, so that all of you can take a little piece of him home with you. And to my beautiful girl, Jan, I just want you to know that I have a little piece of my dad's brain. I definitely have his body. and with his pen, and with all the love from all the people here, we're gonna do just fine, okay? I have a box of these pens that I'd like to give all of you. So either come by on your way out or anytime you pass me, and I'll hand the pen to you. Okay, thank you very much.